Morning. Nate Mullen, aka the Illuminator here. I'm here going to tell you about some of the things that we've done here at Lifetime Lighting Systems, and I want to regress back a little bit to where when you think about the last 25 years when we had wiring methods that encompassed all the halogen lighting, it was very difficult. You know, we had to eliminate how many lights we could have on a run. We had to figure out voltage drop. There was a lot of crazy things, and it was complex and it was hard. Well, today when you fast forward to LEDs, and two things that we've done, we've got the LEDs like everybody, but we've got a new power supply system. So the LEDs run 100% more efficient. So because we're 100% more efficient on our LEDs with our power drivers, and coupled with just low energy LED light bulbs, we're able to incorporate a new wiring method. Now, prior to me starting a lighting company in 1990, I was an electrical contractor. And when you're putting up lights in a building like this, we might have 40 or 50 of these 2x4 lay-ins, but we had 120 volts. We were able to just run wire in a very chaotic, no method. It didn't matter. We didn't have wiring methods in those days. We didn't have daisy chain or trunk and branch or spoke or hub. We had nothing. No loop, no nothing. We just ran wires because we didn't have a voltage drop issue. Today we have that. So when I was going to start my new company, which I started about 2 years ago, I wanted to make sure that we could incorporate a new wiring method. So it's called the FACT method of wiring, F-A-C-T. And F stands for fixture to fixture. So we're able to link fixtures together, just like I used to when I was an electrical contractor. We could link up to maybe 10 to 15 fixtures depending on the length, distance from our power supplies. The A stands for it's adaptable to all methods of wiring. So I don't have to have structure anymore. C is I want to centralize to certain home boxes. I want to link everything together. I want to centralize my connections, or frankly, eliminate as many connections as possible. But it's always the connection that fails. So if I can sit there and look into the future and have the integrity and the health of my system, I can do that by eliminating points of connection. So I eliminate points of failure. The T stands for two leads. So we came up with a new idea. We came up and we decided that we wanted to have a 30-foot piece of wire that linked back into itself. So if you can imagine that instead of dictating to you that I have a 3-foot lead or a 4-foot lead or a 25-foot lead, that when I do that as a manufacturer, I'm not allowing you to have flexibility. If I give you a 3-foot lead, it forces you to daisy chain. Frankly, that's probably one of the worst methods of wiring. If I give you a 25-foot lead, I'm forcing you to bring it into one centralized point of connection. So now, because we're so efficient, why don't I take that idea and I loop the wire back into itself? So I call it a loopable link, but as soon as you cut it, now it changes to a 2-lead system. Now I can utilize any of these methods that I want to. All right, as we know, there's always been several different wiring methods. And probably the number one wiring method is called the daisy chain. I prefer to call it the trunk and branch method. Now we all know that what happens is you're going to come out of a power supply, a transformer, and we're going to come out to several lights. So I'll just draw 5 quick lights right here. And then you come out with your home run, typically 12-2, and you have this run that goes continuously from the transformer all the way down to the fixtures. And then you tie in, right, a splice to that trunk method of wiring, typically called the daisy chain. The other method, right, not very seldom used, was called the T method. Transformer, you would come out the same 5 fixtures. You would run then to the middle, and then you would run out. So you have the same amount of connections, but you just center the load. Not really appropriate with LEDs, as we know, halogens were energy consuming light bulbs, and the LEDs are very friendly when it comes to energy concern. Then there was a method called the hub, equalizer hub method of wiring, supported by, of course, Toro, my old company, so I was highly involved in inventing this method. The hub method, another method was called the spoke, right? And that would be coming from a transformer. You'd have the same 5 fixtures. You would have an equal length of wire. You would come out here to a centralized junction point, and then you would make the connections at the central hub. I have now came up with a new wiring method, and it's called the FACT method of wiring, F-A-C-T. Now what the FACT method of wiring does is it incorporates all methods of wiring. So F-A-C-T. F stands for fixture to fixture. Okay? Fixture to fixture. A stands for adaptable to all methods of wiring. C stands for centralization. And T stands for two leads. So what this method does, in all sense and purpose, is I'm going to get back to my electrical contracting days where if I was wiring this building, we had 120 volts and we had 50 lights in the ceiling. It was chaos in wiring. There was no wiring method. We just wired any way we can, fixture to fixture, centralization, link things together. So in this new method of wiring, we can do whatever we want. So it really is almost like chaos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain it with the three different methods. The daisy chain, really the hub method of wiring, and then our new lead FACT method of wiring where we link things together, fixture to fixture, and use a combination of all wiring methods. And you're going to find out that when you do this, you're really going to save about up to 50 to 60% in labor, and you're going to save 80% in wire probably, more than likely. So this is a real job. We just got done finishing with the contractor right here in our local town. And there's 54 lights here. The transformer right here is centrally located in the very back of the property, so it has pretty good distances to the home right here. And we're going to start with our normal daisy chain trunk and branch method of wiring. So typically, you're going to split up the load so we're going to run a wire to all these fixtures like this. There's one home run. We're going to have a second home run, okay? And it's going to come out over to these guys just like this. A second home run. We're going to have a third home run that's going to come over to here. We're going to have a fourth home run that's going to come over to this guy, over to here, follow the hard edge of the pool, and it's going to come up and over like this, and it's going to come down like this, okay? And I got to continue this guy on like this, and continue this guy up like this. All right, so now what we've got is we've got a 12-2 wire systematically over the whole yard, interconnecting every one of our light fixtures. All right, and then when we do this, you know that we're going to have a connection. We're going to come down and we're going to have a connection at each one. All right, and when you start doing these connections, it's going to tally up to where we have 59 points of connection. All right, so 59 wire nuts in the ground, 59 points of connection, 59 points of future failure points that can fail, because we all know that it's the connection that always fails 99% of the time. So this is quite a bit of labor making the connections, quite a bit of 12-2. Matter of fact, it's about 1,000 feet of 12-2. All right, so that's what we would look like when it's all said and done on the daisy chain method of wiring. Now let me show you what a traditional hub method of wiring would be. Now for the most part, I'm also going to introduce really a new word, lead. So it's still a centralized point of connection. And what we're going to do on the lead hub spoke method is, of course, we're going to group fixtures in together that accommodate whatever the length of wire is on our fixture. We have 30 feet of wire on our fixtures, so we're going to accommodate them within a 60-degree radius. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to run my home runs just like I did with the other method of wiring. So we're going to come out to here. We're going to have these different home runs. So I'm going to come out basically same amount of home runs. And this guy right over here. Okay. And then we're going to come down and here for secondary runs. Okay. Then all you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to run the wires up to 30 feet in length, 29 feet, 60-foot radius basically. And then you're going to make, so we have one connection, two connections, three connections, four connections, five connections. These are all going to come now back here to the center point of connection. Six connections, seven connections, eight connections, nine connections. So you're going to have nine. I think there may have been a 10th connection here that I didn't count. So there's going to be 10 connections on the lead method of wiring. On the fact method of wiring, which we're going to incorporate all methods of wiring, what we're going to do is we're going to sit there and we're going to be able to incorporate the 30 feet of wire that I give you on each fixture. So I'm going to show you at the end of the video that each one of our fixtures comes with a 30-foot piece of wire. And what you're going to do is it loops back into itself, and you're going to cut that wire, changes it into a 2-lead system. So we're going to remember that when we are designing our wiring methods. So we're going to come out, and I'm going to be able to, because I've got these fixtures are closer than the 30 feet, I'm going to cut the first fixture, and it's going to loop into my home box right here. Then it's going to link back to this one, and I'm going to have a connection. This one's going to come to this guy, and these guys are going to link into this guy in that centralized home, and I have a connection. I'm going to run a home run from my box over to this first fixture, and I'm going to have a connection links this guy. No connection at this fixture, a connection. No connection at this fixture, a connection, and then these link over to here. Okay? I'm going to run a home run over to this group of fixtures right here, and all these are going to just link back, lead back into my central point of connection. I'm going to come out with another home run. I'm going to come over to a centralized point here, branch back out. I'm going to go up here to a connection, and I'm going to start over to here like this. And I'm going to have a connection, and these are going to link together like this. Okay? And a connection there. These are all going to link up into here. They're all going to link one connection right there. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to run a wire over here, and I'm going to group all these guys over together, and I'm going to have a big connection right here. And then I'm going to link all these guys together. So these guys are going to come up into here. These guys are going to go into here like this. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 wires connect into this home box. Comes back over to here. I'm going to have a home box here. Come back over to here and have a home box here. Then all these fixtures link together like this. All right. So in this method of wiring, the fact method of wiring, and the 54 fixtures, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of connection in the fact method of wiring, and I've only used 160 feet of wire. So in the daisy chain method, I've used 1,000 feet. In the lead method, hub method, spoke method, I've used about 400 feet of 12-2. And this method of wiring, I've used 160 feet of 12-2 because I've utilized the 30 feet of wire. So you can see that there's two methods of wiring here that minimize connections. One is the fact method of wiring, and the other one is the lead method, hub method, spoke method of wiring. So I hope I explained this well enough, and I hope you utilize this method of wiring. Because as a lighting guy, it's pretty exciting that I'm able to minimize points of failure and save about 7 hours in labor. So one of the things that I want to impress upon everybody is because it is a new method of wiring, so it takes a little bit different thought process. We're here to help you. We've got staff here every day, 7 to 5 o'clock at night. We're located in San Marcos, California. And even though you might be 2 states away, you can email us, send us a little sketch. It can be a hand drawing, it can be as simple as the drawings you saw earlier that I did for you. It can be computerized. We can help you, and we can put on a plan with a schedule and show you the method to where I'm going to save you, and in these situations, there were 7 hours in labor savings when you do the FACT method of wiring. So I know it's pretty tough to digest that, so let us help you. Remember, you can always go to lifetimelightingsystems.com. You can call us here at 760-304-8183. Thank you.